And Buddhism is one of those faiths that has really spread far and wide geographically, especially in Asia. And wherever it's spread, it's taken on the nature of the local faiths as well. They've mixed into it. I have a couple of questions. The first question is, what's the commonality in all the Buddhists, right from Sri Lanka up to Japan, in China, in the Himalayas, in parts of India? And the second question is, obviously, with respect to the Himalayan Buddhist faith, how does this one stand out?
Okay. Common thread would be that because Buddhism, I see it as water. Buddhism is not exactly a religion like the other religions. It is not exactly a faith also, because there's not that much element of believing, just raw believing. Buddhism is based almost entirely on logic. It's a very logical philosophy, a way of life. It's very difficult to define Buddhism in one word. So for the sake of conversation, people see it as a religion and people call it a religion. But I see Buddhism as maybe the essential spiritualism. Yeah, the essence of spiritualism. That is the way I see Buddhism. And I see Buddhism or spiritualism like water. It can fit any vessel you pour it into. That is why it has been adopted by so many different regions and cultures in Asia, across Asia, over the times. That's why you see so many flavors. It's more, if you're into computers, it's like Linux. It's open source. So you can compile it in any distribution you want. You're not, stuck to Windows 95, 98, whatever it is, Windows 11. So it is more like Linux, open source, and you can compile it to any distribution you want. So Buddhism is a bit like that. So the confusion also there is, because there's so many different flavors and you don't know which one you should follow, which one is right for you. The common thread between them, there's so many of them. Major common threads, you would say, we take refuge in the Buddha as the guide in some cases, and as the destination Buddha in some cases. We take refuge in the Dharma as the path to reach that state, to become like our inspiration. And we take refuge in Sangha. Basically, taking refuge in Buddhism can be defined as getting the help of, taking support of. So you take the support of Sangha to understand the Dharma, to become a Buddha. Buddha, Dharma, Sangha. It is like going across this river, the boat and the captain or the sailor. So the sailor is like the Sangha, who will help you use the boat, which will help you navigate across to the other side, which is Buddha, which is enlightenment. So that is a common thread between all flavors of Buddhism.
Can I just recap this a little bit, and then please correct me if I'm thinking wrong? The overarching goal of every Buddhist, and I'd also honestly say every Sanatani,
Yes.
any of the faiths that have come out of this land, the goal is the same, which is getting out of the cycle of birth and death by reaching that point of enlightenment.
Yes.
Within Buddhism, it's believed that the Buddha, or Gautam Buddha as we know him, is the ultimate inspiration.
Yes.
Equivalent of God.
Not really. We don't see the Buddha as a god. When you talk about God, you automatically think about somebody who created the world, who will destroy the world, who will punish you, who will benefit you, reward you. We don't see the Buddha in that way at all. In Buddhism, we don't have this belief in such an entity. So Buddha, to us, he was the first teacher, a great guide, a great example. And basically that's it. And he taught us how to achieve the state that he achieved. And we are trying to follow that path.
Is there any element of an omnipresent higher divinity?
Not in the same sense that you talk about God, no.
Okay.
Yeah. Not like the creator and the destroyer and the, punisher.
Could you think of it as a state of evolution for every human being?
Buddha.
This divinity. Could it be you said that the boat is rowing towards one point.
Yes.
So the goal is to get to that point of complete divinity.
Yes.
Which you can reach through enlightenment.
Yes. We call it enlightenment. When you say divinity, it's also a bit confusing from a Buddhist perspective. So we just call it enlightenment. Basically, fulfilling your potential. So right now, we think that we know ourselves. When I point my hand at you, like, what's your name? You think Rinpoche is talking to me, and my name is Ranveer. I come from such and such. I'm this and that old. That is your ever changing identity. Your age changes. Your name that has been given to you by parents was given after your birth. That is not your essential name. And even if you feel your nature is calm, that how is Ranveer? Is he a calm person? Is he an aggressive person? He's a very cool person. He's a very calm person. But depends how you agitate him. Tomorrow, if he becomes very agitated, maybe he won't be as calm. So in that way, we think that we know ourselves, but we actually don't. Our real nature, our essential nature, doesn't have any names. It doesn't have any changing, impermanent characteristics. It is very universal. It is very pure. That is what we call enlightenment. So basically, it is like this gold hidden in a rag. So the whole process of Buddhist practices is to unravel this rag so that you see your true potential. So the journey is not very much outwards, but it's more inwards.
Understood. Okay. And as for the Sangha, right? It's equivalent of the people around you or the guides?
Yes. So there are different definitions of Sangha. There are different varieties of Sangha. From a very common perspective, you have monks, you have teachers, who dress like us, who practice, who study, and then try to help somebody enter the path. But then you have more evolved Sangha, like Bodhisattva, like Avalokiteshwar, like Tara. They're also Sangha because they are with you as a community. They don't see you as an exclusive. They don't see you separate. They see you as one of them. They see every sentient being. It doesn't matter which religion, which faith. As long as you're in samsara, they see you as one together. That's what we call Sangha. So these beings are highly evolved. Basically, that's you after maybe 1,000 years of evolution, let's just say, on the spiritual path. So you've gone beyond your biological forms. Your consciousness has reached a state that is very fluid, and you can take any shape and form you want. They're almost perfect beings. They're almost like supernatural beings, and they manifest in different forms, and they're beyond our comprehension. That is why we cannot see them directly. That is why we construct statues and write paintings like Tara's painting, Tara's statue, But that's what we call Sambhogakaya. That is the enjoyment body. That is the body that they live in. That is the mystical body that they live in. But to our naked eyes, you can't see it.
Is this the defining factor of Himalayan Buddhism?
Not the defining factor. Himalayan Buddhism or Vajrayana Buddhism goes deeper. So you take the idea of reaching the other side, practicing the Dharma with the help of your community. Okay? And on top of that, now what kind of Dharma do you focus on? Do you focus on the very simple ones, or do you employ many different tactics in order to reach your goal? So in Vajrayana Buddhism, it is the most skillful, method-wise, skillful Buddhism, also the very most flexible. It is a little bit like the end justifies the means. Obviously, not everything can be justified, but in terms of achieving your goal, we practice Tantra, Mantra, Yoga, we wear yantras, we do lots of breathing practices, visualizations. So we employ almost every method possible to achieve enlightenment within one lifetime.